What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Wednesday. We are coming to you live from LA yet again, and we can't wait to talk about everything that's been happening, including the Bachelor finale. But first, this podcast is presented by Pepsi Wild Cherry. If you haven't known by now, then you're clearly just not listening how much we love Pepsi Wild Cherry. We are stacked even in our LA hotel room with Pepsi Wild Cherry. I honestly have snuck a few when you guys have left here because
we're recording in your room.
We're recording in my hotel room, and when everyone leaves, I'm like, I'm gonna crack open a Pepsi Wild Cherry, and this box is a little empty, and it gives me that little wild refreshment that I need in my life. So if you're feeling like getting wild, grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild with us. With me specifically, since I've been getting wild alone with my Pepsi Wild Cherry.
And honestly, you can get wild in whatever form.
Whatever form you want.
Whatever form you want. Whether it's staying home and watching The Bachelor or going out with some friends. It's up to you to decide how wild you want to be. And it's still wild because you decide what wild is.
Right. It just takes the form of whatever wild you want. So grab your Pepsi Wild Cherry.
Get wild, people.
Yes. So it is Tuesday in LA while we're recording this. We went to the Bachelor finale. The Bachelor, which is what they should name it now.
It's bananas.
We went to the Bachelor finale last night and it was freaking awesome.
Honestly, we could not have picked a better season to finally get to go to one of these things. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really want to go to another one ever again. Like, I just kind of want this to be the only one we ever go to. It was that good.
It was so awesome. First, I want to say,
I mean, if they invite us, we'll go
of course.
But oh my God, it was so fun.
It was so fun. And we were unsure of the layout. We had no idea what to expect. We didn't know what we could film, what we couldn't post. And we got there and they just let us do our thing. We were able to take pictures and videos on stage. Yeah. We had our phones during the show. We were able to update everybody. If you follow us on social media, then you were able to see our updates on our Instagrams and our Twitters. We couldn't have asked for anything better from ABC and Warner Brothers. Like, it was truly an experience of a lifetime. Like, it really just making memories.
Yep.
Like, the fact that we are just like collecting these memories like Infinity Stones.
Yeah. I feel like we can, when we go, oh, that's really nice.
It's true.
Big Marvel fan over there.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like we can, when we like recap the episode, we can like dive into it too and like really give a play-by-play of how we felt and what was going down. But it was really great.
It was such a great opportunity. And
how bad do my hands look in this mic? And this, I'm sorry, I'm being self-conscious now.
Not bad at all.
Can you look in the camera? I'm asking Noah. My spray tan on my hands is atrocious, and I realize I'm like, this is showing.
I don't think it's gonna pick up on the camera as much as you think.
Okay, I'm gonna hold my mic like this.
Okay, Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I'll lower the saturation.
We got spray tans and my hands look like it wasn't.
Yours
the spray,
are perfect.
It wasn't the
no.
spray tan.
Spray tans are fantastic.
The spray tans were great.
And the spray tan company girl that we use they're amazing. They're so good. This was all me.
It was a fantastic job.
I did this one completely myself. We got the spray tan Sunday night. When I went to bed, woke up Monday morning, I was having some major tummy issues Sunday nights. And I somehow, I fell asleep in the fetal position with my hands between my legs, which is a comfortable position for me. I do sleep like that often. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how I'm sitting right now, and I had my hands sandwiched between my legs. Yes. And I left handprints on my thighs. That's how bad it was when I woke up in the morning. And the palms of my hand, they just soaked up all the spray tan right into my,
because you didn't sleep with
right
pants
into
on.
my hands. Yeah, I didn't pack any
loose pants.
I have cargo sweatpants. I can't sleep in those. I also just cannot sleep in pants. I can't remember the last time I ever slept in pants.
Yeah, I feel like the go-to is a big t-shirt for sleeping, but I packed extra loose pants for the spray tan because I feel like it's always been said like you have to wear loose clothes after a spray tan. I would have given you an extra pair of loose pants.
You were more prepared than me. I just didn't like loose clothes. I know loose clothes, and I'm thinking like loose clothes when I'm walking around, you know, like if I needed to move about, like that was fine. But it was bedtime. So I was like, I'm just going to go to bed.
It was Betty Bye.
So
it's okay.
It's all right. It is what it is.
It's
but yeah,
really
Ariana Grande this.
It's not as bad as you think it is. You're just being.
I can just see it so up close. Like, you know, when it's just like just looks like dirt.
I wouldn't even notice if you didn't like point it out consistently.
Yeah. Well, it's just like sorry.
No, of course. no, of course you should voice what you're feeling. But I just want you to feel comfortable knowing that nobody else is going to notice it.
Okay. I won't bring it up again.
No, I just want you to feel comfortable, Francesca. But yeah, we'll talk about the Bachelor stuff when we get into the Bachelor recap. We'll give you a full play-by-play, full behind the scenes. We're going to dive into it all. But we have other topics we need to get into. We have to talk about what happened in at Diddy's homes. He was Homeland Security showed up, raided his houses for some gross shit. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about
Combs Holmes.
Yeah. He goes by, I think
it's just Diddy again.
He's cut it again.
Yeah.
It's just Diddy. Yeah. Some disgusting shit happening there.
I don't care what he's
very
called.
Clearly. Yeah, no,
we got a problem.
He can be called piece of shit for all I know. We're going to talk about Taylor and Travis. They've been seen. They've been spotted. We'll talk about that. Euphoria. There's some news about Euphoria season 3.
It's ever coming.
Yeah, we'll dive into that. And then, of course, full Bachelor recap, full behind the scenes updates. We got stories galore, so we'll get into that. And then we have an interview with Joey and Kelce, those sweet, sweet, precious angels who we love very, very much. They are just delightful. So let's get into the topics. Okay, so yesterday, Diddy's homes in both LA and Miami were raided by Homeland Security. And it wasn't just people popping in, it was the full raiding. Okay. This to me means like they know some shit. Yeah. They have stuff on Diddy, or else this isn't happening like this.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you get Homeland Security involved. This is as serious as it gets.
There's a problem.
It is in connection with a federal sex trafficking case, is what authorities are saying. The federal raid occurred at his home in LA and also in Miami. And so the Homeland Security, they put out a statement that said earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations, Homeland Security Investigations, New York, executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. We will provide further information as it becomes available. At the time, he was not home, but there were some, I think like some of his family members were home.
His sons were
there.
His sons, yeah, they were handcuffed
detained.
his sons.
Yep.
This whole thing is extremely scary. And now for weeks now, things have been coming out about Diddy more and more. More people have been speaking out. More people have been speaking out about him, allegations against him. We know Cassie from months ago.
Yeah.
Just a lot about him, more and more proving that he's a disgusting human being. The fact that this is having to do with a sex trafficking case.
Yeah. I mean, we had kind of said too, and I remember when Cassie had filed her suit, that at that time, like she filed and then they settled the next day, which was like, what is it? And of course, like Diddy's lawyer was like, this doesn't mean he's guilty of anything, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, something that serious and you settle immediately.
Yeah. You
don't want what Cassie has to say to come out. Like you're not trying to have that go to trial, all these things. They settled that. And I mean, that was November of last year. And that was, you know, that lawsuit had a lot of like, you know, she was accusing him of a lot of scary things too. And at that time, like now seeing what these cases were like and what those accusations are like, I don't think it's any surprise that this is at the level it is at, like that they are looking at him for like this level of that thing.
The whole thing is hard to wrap your head around because it's a guy we've seen for so long that's been in the music industry forever.
Yeah.
And he knows so many people. He's Hollywood. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And if that's happening with Diddy, then what is happening with a million other people in Hollywood? That's where my mind goes. Like the fact that he's been around for so long, I don't know. It's insane. It's actually insane. And I think your homes don't get raided like that unless they have something on you that they are like, no, we need to get in there. Right.
TMZ posted an exclusive that said that Diddy was unaware that this was going to happen. He was stopped on the runway in Miami. They said, our sources tell us Diddy was getting ready to enjoy spring break with his kids. His family agents rolled up to the tarmac. Obviously, their plans were derailed. And there's been, you know, they said that there was helicopters flown. It's crazy because we're like not that far away from where this happened too on Monday. And I felt like I was looking out the window of the hotel and was like, oh, that is like there were a bunch of news helicopters like pretty low to the ground throughout the day yesterday. So that checks out. But yeah, I mean, we're at the point like there's just allegations of sex trafficking, sexual assault, soliciting and distributing illegal narcotics, as well as firearms. This probably goes extremely deep. There's also Diddy's alleged mule, as described in a recent lawsuit, was arrested Monday as well. According to the affidavit obtained by TMZ, 25-year-old Brendan Paul was booked on 2 separate drug charges after the feds intercepted Diddy's plane, namely 1 count of possession of suspected cocaine and another of possession of suspected marijuana. That's unfortunate. Both of which are felonies in Florida. In the paperwork, officers claimed that while they were working in conjunction with Homeland Security, they came across what they described as the suspected drugs in Paul's travel bags. So that happened in the midst of all this as well.
When stuff like this happens, my brain immediately goes to how does his brain work? You know, like I like the inner workings of Diddy's brain.
Yeah.
What brings you to these points?
Oh, I mean, you're just a sick
like,
person.
Right.
Like
there's something wrong. Like it's just
Yeah.
crazy to think about that a person's brain can end, like you end up in this position like that, like a piece of shit. It's insane.
I know. And I go to like I think about his family too, having like high school age. He has older kids, but also, you know, has like still some high school age kids of just like,
imagine your sons get arrested because of you. Like, or like handcuffed at least.
Yeah, the whole thing is insane, and I think that people are just waiting.
I think we're just scratching the surface of what's going on with him.
No, seriously, I think some dark shit is gonna come out.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be scary.
It's tough to really speculate on, but this from just this, it seems like they like Homeland Security doesn't raid your house for nothing.
No, not just
and
because,
sees all your electronics and like everything that's in the homes.
Right. It's not like, we, you know, one person said something. No, they have something.
They have something.
They have something for sure.
Yep.
So like you said, this just scratches the surface. And as the days go by, I'm sure more and more is going to come out, obviously, because now everybody is waiting to find out what they found.
Yeah.
And what's to come and where is he? They said one of his planes are in Antigua in the Caribbean, and now that plane can't leave there. There was TMZ footage of him just like kind of roaming the Miami airport, like kind of just like walking in circles at the Miami airport. So he's in deep shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
Big time.
Moving on to a more fun and lighthearted subject. Taylor and Travis were seen on vacation together, enjoying a couple drinks, enjoying the ocean, the beach, and now they're in LA. They're going to Nobu, Malibu. They're renting out Dog Pound. They're working out. They're just living the life.
I know. The pictures. I love seeing the pictures. We knew they did have a little Bahamas getaway. The pictures came a little bit later, but they're frolicking.
Yeah,
nothing better than frolicking on the beach with the guy you love in beautiful weather, enjoying the sun, and then straight back to LA. I know that there's like a lot of celebrities in New York, and they're everywhere, but there's something about coming to LA that I'm like, we're so close to Taylor Swift right now. Like she's not that far.
It feels further away in New York than it does in LA.
Which is so, and I don't know what that is, because there's been months and months of Taylor Swift in her Tribeca apartment and like going to the recording studio and like being around New York. And I could be saying the same thing. Like, oh my God, she's at the recording studio. It's a mile away.
Right.
But like for some reason being in LA, I'm like, oh my God, she's so close.
It just feels like when you're walking around LA that you could walk into somebody at any time because there's not that many people walking around.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it could happen at any moment. In New York City, there's people, you could walk by someone and never know.
Yep.
But
no, that's very true. I don't know what it is about LA that I was like, oh my God, they're here.
Right. It's just,
and we're here.
It's, it's LA. That's the vibe. We're not from
breathing
here.
the same air.
Right. Yeah. We're not from here. So we just, when we come here, we're like, oh my God, there must be superstars in every single cafe, restaurant, wherever we walk into, there's somebody. That hasn't happened.
No. No, not this trip. But yeah, and then they did rent out, I guess they just closed Dog Pound, which the pictures were kind of funny. Like, no, unfortunate for the people who like went there to try and work out. There's just like pictures of people in their like workout outfits standing outside the gym, like not allowed inside.
It is kind of unfortunate because these people are like in a routine of probably working out.
Yeah.
Like, when your workout routine gets fucked up, like, that's a damn shame. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to have to find somewhere else to go right now.
How does she not
They're going to have to go to the Aloe gym.
Her own gym, or like personal trainers come to her house?
I think that she's liking going and doing things in public. Like, I think because she didn't do that for so long, then now she feels safe with Travis to go do these things out in public that she wasn't doing for 6 years of her life.
And apparently she goes to this gym all the time and they always give her this kind of special treatment. Like, it's not a thing. And also there were people outside. I don't know, maybe if they were there for, maybe they heard Taylor was there. I don't know. But a rep for Dog Pound told TMZ, Dog Pound is a by appointment establishment. We value members' experience and have never had anyone wait outside for 2 hours. The narrative running in the media does not accurately reflect circumstances. We respect the privacy of our clients. Talking about how like people were, I guess, waiting outside. But TMZ wrote, lucky for us, we found the answer another way. Sources familiar with this gym tell us that several of the folks pictured in workout attire are actually Dog Pound employees, whom we're told do have to get out when Taylor swings by to get some exercise. Our sources say it's standard operating procedure, and Taylor's workouts only last an hour. Point being, the gym is cleared entirely when she rolls up for privacy, it seems. So that does not surprise me at all. Like, yes, Taylor Swift shows up to the gym, everybody out.
Taylor's coming. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, everybody's out. She's got her appointment.
True private training. Yeah. Like, truly, the gym is
only
hers.
An hour, Taylor? Come on.
Hey, I know they said 2 first.
Yeah. So, well, maybe when it's both of them together, they need the full 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun seeing them just enjoy, they're busy bees and now they're just enjoying life. They're in warm locations.
Yeah.
Just having a good time.
Taylor was getting memed a little bit for a photo that was taken of them when they were at Nobu, Malibu, and because it just looked like she was talking. And of course, everyone was like, she looks like she's yelling. It's like, no, she's probably just talking.
Like, have you ever seen people talk before?
Yeah.
Like, if you saw me,
she's probably just animated.
If you saw me talking in public at any point, you would probably think I'm yelling at all times.
Yeah.
Right. Some people just talk animated.
Yep.
Does not mean she's yelling at Travis. I saw a tweet that was like, and this is why she has so many boyfriends. It's like, shut the fuck
give me
up.
a fucking break.
Like, are you really?
Yeah.
Like, what does your fucking wife look like when you guys are out to eat?
Zip it.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Shut the fuck up. People are so annoying.
It's like she's just talking normally, I'm sure.
Just a normal animated person.
Yeah.
who has
or maybe telling
emotions,
a story,
telling a story
really
with
getting
a lot
into
of
it.
details.
Yep.
It's very simple.
Nothing's more fun than telling a good story and really getting into it.
They're telling a story to your boyfriend, fiance, whatever, husband, whatever it is. And their reactions, like when you're given the gossip or you're given the tea to them and it's like they don't really know what's going on, but you're really diving in, it's the best.
Yep.
It's like it's that's what I envision is happening.
Full attention.
Yeah, she's given whatever story happened with her friend. Maybe, another Met Gala situation. Something happened with her friends. Not Met Gala, whatever it was, Golden Globes. She's telling Travis what happened.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep.
All different things.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been fun seeing them around. Right now, you can get any tickets to any event that you want with Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Now, maybe you want to go to a game. It's March Madness. Marty just went to a game, and he actually was sitting next to Seth Meyers. Didn't even talk about that, but he went to the games on Sunday, ended up sitting next to Seth Meyers, had a blast, all thanks to Game Time. They have flash deals for sudden discounts, zone deals for when you're feeling flexible, and their lowest price guarantee means that if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time is the best place for last minute seats with up to 60% off your favorite events. What are you waiting for? You are gonna want to buy those tickets, so use Game Time. We've all used Game Time plenty of times now in the past year or so to go to concerts, to go to sporting events. We love Game Time, and you guys will love Game Time as well. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHICKS for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHICKS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Once again, download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. We have Euphoria news, I guess. Euphoria season 3 has been like permanently sidelined. Like it's just postponed.
Yeah.
They were supposed to start filming this week. And then apparently Sam Levinson never finished the script. And now it's been postponed. And the actors are now free to pursue other roles, which to me means Euphoria season 3 is never coming out. Euphoria came out in 2019. There's only 16 episodes. So at this point, wrap it up. Because last year, and maybe the beginning of this year, I've been waiting for Euphoria. At this point, out of sight, out of mind, just be done with it. They're going to be too grown up to be...
They're going to have kids.
No, literally, like they're going to have to do like a fast forward 5 years for Euphoria season 3. Of course, we want to know,
10-year
what
reunion
happened with the characters. But like at this point, I think if you haven't finished the script, Sam Levinson, what have you been doing?
Right.
The actors are superstars. All of them want to pursue other roles.
Yeah.
Let them be free. Now, Zendaya, she may want Euphoria season 3 so she could lock that Emmy again.
Right.
Or that Golden Globe. But...
Or that paycheck.
Yeah, or that paycheck. But I think all of them, probably more than anything, want to pursue other roles.
At this point in time, too, I just feel like they're probably like, I'm kind of done with... No matter what they say, like I know maybe not Sydney Sweeney. I feel like Sydney Sweeney is like one of the only ones that really enjoys doing Euphoria.
They've all, Zendaya, Jacob Elordi, and Sydney Sweeney have all said nice things about it.
I just feel like, I don't know. This is just my own personal opinion. I just feel like Jacob Elordi is ready to like not play that character anymore.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like to keep going back to a character also that's like as volatile as that character is. We were maybe like, I'm kind of done with it. I don't know.
Right, because he's kind of shed the image of Nate.
Yeah.
And that was the image he had for a while, but now he's shed it. So he's probably like, all right, I shed the kissing booth. Yep. I shed Nate. Right. Now I'm just Jacob Elordi. I was Elvis.
Like,
when you think of Jacob Elordi, what's the first character that pops into your mind of him?
At this point, I just think of him as Jacob Elordi. Like, I don't know.
It's still the kissing booth for me, and it's not going to change.
Yeah,
I guess he would hate that.
I guess I don't.
It's the first thing I watched with him. Like that's it. That's my first impression. Sorry.
I guess I don't have one for him because like now he's just become such a name.
Yeah.
That I think a couple years ago would have been like Euphoria, but now.
And Zendaya's just got to be the most popular actress in the world. Like, I'm sure everyone wants to work with her. I'm sure she has a million projects that are sent to her, people ask her to do. And, you know, the cast is being allowed to pursue other opportunities now while this is happening, while he, I don't know, works on the script or whatever it is that they're doing. HBO said in a statement that HBO and Sam Levinson remain committed to making an exceptional third season. In the interim, we are allowing our in-demand cast to pursue other opportunities. That said, the cast has not been released from their contract, and HBO still intends to get Euphoria season 3 on air sometime in 2025.
It's just like
2025, like for 3 seasons.
The second season was in 2022.
Yeah. No, it's too much.
They already didn't look like high school kids.
The second season was 2022. The third season gonna be 2025.
Right. They're going back to high school.
Like probably late 2025 if it's still not.
They're gonna be 30.
They didn't start filming yet.
Right. And I know like all the other. It's got to be tough for the other cast members that are really waiting for this, like Zendaya, Jacob, Sydney. Like the projects are lined up. Like they can do a ton of other things, and not that the other actors can't too, but you know, I know that the actress that plays Zendaya's mom, who's also a comedian, like she had said recently, like kind of making a joke, like, hey, like I kind of need that paycheck, like let's go, like what's happening. So there's definitely a lot of people who would like that job to come back as soon as possible, and it just seems like they are really taking their sweet time. And honestly, like I don't even really remember where the show even left off. I know I've just been seeing tweets of people being like, damn, Rue really owes that lady all that money still. Like it's right. Like there's just like, I don't know, it just feels like so much time has passed.
It has, and you know, whenever if it does come out, we're all going to be locked in once again. But at this point, if they were to say it's done, my soul wouldn't be crushed.
No, because I don't even remember what I missed. What I've been missing.
What are exactly?
You
it's
know?
like, you know what? If you want to end it, just end it.
Yep,
just go ahead.
It would just be like, I don't even remember how the season ended. I guess that's well.
Oh yep, shucks. Oh shucks.
So,
moving into The Bachelor. Full behind the scenes backstage update and what happened during the finale. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, we showed up. Noah came with us.
Yes.
We got to bring Noah with us, which was a lot of fun. The three of us showed up, you know, promptly an hour and 15 minutes before, like they told us to. And
Warner Brothers lot.
Brothers lot. Very cool to see that. And we roll up and the first person we see is Leia. And so we're like, oh, it's Leia. And we, you know, ABC producer, they're like, all right, we're going to lead you in. And we go through security and
they were escorting you guys.
Yeah, they were escorting us specifically. And now I do not expect anybody to know who we are. I want to preface that. Like, we don't expect that. We don't expect people to know who we are whatsoever. But the way Leia turned to us and said, oh my God, did you guys like win a raffle to win tickets to come to the show?
She fucking flamed our asses.
She torched
us. She set us on fire.
She turned around to us. She didn't say like, oh, why are you guys here? Who are you guys? No. Which would have been perfectly like the normal thing.
You were behind me, so I got through security and you were still behind me. So she was just standing there. So I introduced myself. Like, I was like, oh my God, hi, like, hi, like, watched you on this season. Like, I'm Fran, introduced myself.
And then I came up.
She gave us a hug. She was very sweet.
I said, I'm whatever. We did the whole introduction. And then instead of her being like, oh, why are you guys here? Who are you guys? Whatever, which would have been completely normal. She said, oh my God, did you guys like win a raffle, win tickets, contest winners to come to the show? We're contest winners to come to the show. They don't do that.
No, nothing.
That was my first thought. I'm like, do they do a raffle?
I don't think they do a contest for people to come to the show.
Nothing humbles you faster than I was like, oh no, we host a podcast. They invited us here. Because then you're just like, you feel like you're explaining yourself. Like I was like, we host a podcast and and there's like ABC invited us.
Right.
We're super excited.
And she's like, yeah, fucking right. And when you say you host a podcast, people look at you like, okay, Cool.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember somebody did say that to us once. They
Yeah.
were like, oh, good luck.
Yeah. I did say Chicks in the Office, and she was like, oh, like,
Right.
the claiming that the name recognition came. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But it was funny because even just like in our seats, we had our phones. So everyone around us was like, who are these girls that have their phones? Like,
right.
they're just like, and they're filming themselves nonstop. So they're like, oh, like you, oh, I heard like you guys have a podcast. Like, with these very nice ladies behind us, who were, I mean, it was emotional for them. They had their tissues out.
Yeah, they did.
But they were like, oh, what's the name of your show? We said, oh, Chicks in the Office. And then like, as we were walking out, she was so cute, but she was like, I'm going to check you guys out. What is it? Office Girls? Office Chicks?
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
The Office Chicks. We're the chicks from The Office. No, it was funny because I just felt like if Leia had said that to literally anybody attending as an audience member, you don't know who anybody, like somebody could be a friend of somebody, a producer friend,
Maybe she thought that we won the big contest.
Right,
and ABC was escorting us in.
You don't know who anybody, so like just, what do you do, but we are the raffle contest winners, and that's why we were at the show. But it was really, really cool.
I'll never forget that. That was incredible.
No, it was unbelievable.
I'm so happy
I'm so happy she said that. It was the perfect start to the day. Like we were like, this is going to be a blast.
You guys won a raffle. It's like we went to a fundraiser and like bid on the 50-50, but like our ticket was to go to the Bachelor.
No. And then after that, I had felt like we won a raffle. Like we got humbled so fast where I was like walking around with like my head down, kind of like, yep, we are the contest winners. Yeah. Everybody has to be nice to us. But yeah, we went into this room before we went into the studio, and
VIP.
There was, past Bachelor alum. We saw
everybody that was in the crowd that you guys saw.
Right. Intern Sean, who we worked with at Barstool.
Yep.
We met Tanner. They were great guys.
Yeah.
And, we saw Gabby. We saw everybody in the room, and then we got escorted to the studio. And
Gary.
My God. Should we say what Gabby said to
Yes. Wait. So Gabby Windy was with Robbie.
Yes.
And we said hi. And Gabby says hi to Noah and goes and points to Robbie and goes, Noah, there's your competition.
Honestly, it was laugh out loud. Gabby is really laugh out loud
so
funny. She is so fucking funny. Like, she is such an amazing sense of humor.
It was hilarious.
And it was just like the timing is just always so good. She crushed that. That was hilarious.
It was so funny. And we got wine.
Yep.
That was such a nice treat. We didn't know we could do that.
Yeah.
And we got escorted to the studio, and they said, you guys can have your phones, post during commercial breaks.
They were treating you like royalty. It was so funny because they're like, here are all the rules except for you guys. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, they're like, you guys are good. No rules. We're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just so cool. It's such a surreal moment. And we met the director.
Yeah.
He was really sweet. And I was like, hey, if you want to like put us on TV, and he was like, don't worry. He was like, I will show you guys. And then we got shown. We got our reaction box
a bunch of times. Well, we got the reaction box a bunch of times. And then, of course, like we were 2 rows behind the Golden Bachelor ladies who, God, we can't fucking shake those ladies.
Shake them. I was like, of course we're behind them. Of course the first time we're being seen is we're behind the Golden Bachelor ladies.
I just, God bless them. So anyway, they got a new podcast that they were promoting.
They did.
So we were behind them. And I was laughing because like, you can see us, but then Noah was just completely blocked.
I was giving the performance of a lifetime. Like, especially during that moment, I'm like, I'm on TV. Like, I'm like, oh.
No, you really were out of the corner of my eye because I was sitting in the middle of you two. Noah, I felt his head bobbing so much. I thought it was going to fall off his head. And we knew when the camera was on us because the camera's pointed in front of our faces. There were plenty of times when the camera was not pointed on us that Noah was still keeping up with his head nodding and his expressions.
There were other cameras.
No, there were other
so,
cameras. They said, hey, they said there was a camera on you at all times.
Right. And I was really impressed with your commitment to
By the end, I was like, I'm fucking exhausted.
I'm exhausted. I need a drink after this.
Hey, we were masterclass of reactions.
My Baba texted me, my other grandpa, not Nano. He texted me so fucking funny. He writes, he texted me about watching me on TV, and then he wrote, "By the way, is Susan too tall for me? I could wear elevator shoes. LOL."
So funny.
Oh my god,
Susan.
They would.
Baba's available.
One of them would eat my Baba up. You know, he would be a great. He would be a great Golden Bachelor.
Yeah, he would.
But he's like a little like too old now.
Right,
He's like
right,
86. But he's spry. He's like he's a real
Gary
young
was having
86.
the time of his life.
Gary was.
Everybody was there. And look, everybody was there. Gary and Teresa were there. Everybody was ready to see how Joey's season ended. And even just like watching in that environment was really cool. Like sitting and watching the whole episode. And we gave a lot of our, feedback online as we were there, but the episode itself was so good. Like
So good.
Truly just the most mature ending this show has ever seen. Like I would put this season up there as one of the best seasons of The Bachelor, if not the best, just as far as like wholesome love wins, like maturity. And there was drama, there was some girl drama, there was some silly things here or there. Like we talk about Pilot Pete season all the time, and Hannah, like Pilot Pete season was chaotic and the ending was like all over the place, and it was all over the place for like weeks after it ended. Also, like this had it all wrapped up so nicely.
It did.
And Joey was just fantastic. What a lead.
He was the best Bachelor ever.
He really was.
He hit all his marks. There was not like, there's a lot of times where people turn on The Bachelor and they find something to complain about. But with Joey, I have no complaints. Like, I really think he handled everything with the utmost care.
Yeah.
He was so mature. I think it's, one of the first times that all of the contestants have nothing but incredible things to say about Joey. I think he made every girl on the show feel like so safe with him. And I think power to Daisy in the way that she handled the situation. She knew it wasn't her, but she showed up to talk with Joey at the proposal. And she was like, I know you're not choosing me. I'm going to walk out on my own. He was like, I should walk you out. She said, I'm going to walk out on my own. And she also expressed a lot how her light was dimmed before this season of The Bachelor. She went through a lot in her life, and this season of The Bachelor and Joey came into her life to show her the love that she deserves and the love that she will get one day, and all these opportunities and the life that she will live. And her light shines now is what she basically said. So I thought that was a beautiful thing, and I not only is it a product of how great of a woman Daisy is in herself, and like how mature she is and how great she handled herself. I mean, like the most mature, classiest runner-up. They're all pretty classy and mature most of the time. We've never had somebody been like, fuck you or whatever. But the way she treated Kelce and everything, but also a product of Joey as well, and how he treated all of them and, empowered them.
I could not applaud Daisy more than how she handled all that. Like, it was with an amazing amount of grace and maturity. And I felt like she wanted to get some clarity for herself while also respecting Kelce, because that can be really hard. Like when she knocked on Kelsey's door, I was like, holy shit. Because that just, not only is it like that could put Kelce in a really tough position too, because you're like, what do you want to what can you share? What do you want to say? And I felt like she handled that in a great way of being like, I if you're comfortable telling me like how your last date went, I just feel like something is maybe a little off, and she got the clarity that she needed. And it just shows how truly genuine Joey is, because of how many seasons we've watched of a Bachelor where it gets down to like the end, and it is really hard to tell who wins. Like you go back and forth. Like I feel like because it was so obvious that it just shows that he was not able to like necessarily fake it like some people are able to do. He's been in that position. He was on the other side, like with how Charity season ended. And I think he was so careful because he just did not want to hurt somebody in that same way of like being the runner up and all those things. So as the episode's going on, you're like, oh my, I mean, how many times can Joey's like basically breaking up with her. They haven't even gotten to the end yet, saying things like, oh, if it's no matter what, like, I want you to be happy. Like all these things that like you could see Daisy being like, all right, it's not me. And clearly, and she felt that way. She sensed it. But like, I think it just shows that Joey like has such a good heart that he wasn't even able to go through the motions of like what a Bachelor lead is supposed to do and say when it gets down to the end, so that both girls like are kind of still in the mix. And I just thought he did such a great job and was so respectful, and they had such a great conversation. And my heart broke like when Daisy went to talk to him at the proposal, and he just like, you could see it in his face. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe like that she's doing this, because it is how I feel. And he didn't fight her on it or anything. It was obviously even unspoken, like, I'm gonna go, this is the right thing to do. I totally understand, and like have it end that way. And then even the conversation they had on stage was like so mature, and I wish you the best and such a great experience, like so nice. Daisy said on her way out during the finale, she said, if I can love the wrong person this much, imagine like how much I can love the right person. Yeah, that was a line, which was great. Honestly, It was a great line.
It was a line.
That's a great line. Yeah, that's a great line.
The whole audience.
I mean, as soon as she said that though, I really I went Bachelorette in my head. Like that is like the most Bachelorette setup line ever. Not only did she walk out by herself, when she walked out by herself and then she hit that line, I was like, she's walking right into the Bachelorette, right. Granted, it didn't go that way, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I just thought like the finale itself was so great.
Right after this, we are headed to a Macy's to do some shopping, because Macy's has everything that you need for whatever occasion that you're looking for. Maybe you're looking to mix up your vibe this spring. I'm always looking to mix up my vibe. My style changes day to day, depending on my mood, depending on the weather, depending on what I wear. Macy's has preppy and polished looks to, maybe a cute dinner outfit, cute brunch outfit. Maybe you're going more sporty. Maybe you're going edgy. Macy's has it all. They've got tailored tweeds mixed with bright hues that perfectly balance playful with proper as well. They have Lacoste, they have Tommy Hilfiger, and they have a ton of iconic brands held at Macy's that you could put your fresh spin on whatever spring outfit you are looking for. This specifically, we're talking about a polished prep look. Maybe I'm not the preppiest of people. Maybe I don't wear the preppiest of clothes. But if I'm looking for a preppy, polished outfit, I'm looking at Macy's, because they have the iconic brands to fill me with that. So check out all your new favorite styles at Macys.com/ownyourstyle. Once again, check out your new fave styles at Macys.com/ownyourstyle, or head to a Macy's and own your style.
And Joey and Kelce are so freaking cute.
They're so cute. Like, you can feel their chemistry, their love through this. Like, I felt it totally during the whole proposal, during the
goosebumps, like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, during the whole thing, like, I just was so giddy watching them. Like, I'm like, that's two people in love right there. You can feel it. You can feel the way he felt about her. You can feel the way she feels about him. I just was so happy for them. They looked so happy. And like you said, the conversation with Daisy went as it should. It was very respectful. They had their closure, but now he's an engaged man to Kelce, and it's time to celebrate their love and their love story and how they ended up together. And they are just so cute. Like, it's not very often that I feel like the real love shine through on these shows. I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
I've felt it with Joe and Serena, and I think maybe a couple of other times I've talked about it. But with these two, like, it just is true love to me that I feel. Like, I get chills watching their whole thing.
The gasp, the crowd, I know this is what the kids are saying these days, but like the gasp, we gasped.
Yeah.
When they showed, it was great editing, right? They played it up. They showed Kelce in the car first, and we all went, oh my God. Because we were like, could it possibly be a switcheroo? Like, or did they get us? But no, they rode in that car together to that final proposal. And that was really powerful. We've never seen that happen. It was like I said, everybody played up as you're going to see an ending like we've never seen before. And as much as like it wasn't crazy as something bad necessarily happened, but it was something that we have not seen. And I thought it was so great seeing them support each other and having that kind of relationship, and Kelce because that's very hard. That's very hard to navigate for Daisy and for Kelce. Like Kelce also has to have the purity almost of like, not that she would ever gloat or anything, but it's like, you have to have some sympathy because you're like, shit, it's
right.
me. Like where I'm sure she wants to be like so super excited, and she is so excited, but at the same time she's going through this with Daisy, and she obviously knows it's not Daisy, and,
right.
and Daisy knows it's not her. So there's like, it was just really nice that they were able to have that connection. And then, Daisy said to her, like, your mom is, looking down and she's going to be so proud of you in this moment, which was, I think everybody got teary eyed at that moment.
That was really beautiful. And I think, for Kelce, it was like obviously about to be such a happy moment for her.
Yeah.
So it could be tough to be like, okay, this is kind of a downer. Like, I'm about to have the happiest moment of my life, but yet now I have Daisy sitting with me and she's clearly very upset. Like,
right.
It could be awkward.
It's a tough thing to balance for sure.
But I think that they both handled it super maturely. And then Kelce was able to get out of that car and have that moment after, which was fantastic. And they had their moment on stage as well. And Joey talked about how, they were able to empower each other, which I thought was all around like a very, very mature ending of The Bachelor. It was fantastic. It truly, I'm so happy for Joey and Kelce, and I can't wait to talk with them on this show.
It's a real reflection of the lead, I think,
Yeah, and the love really shines through.
Absolutely.
And then we got the Bachelorette announcement, which was a fake out. So Jesse Palmer said, we're going to bring out Daisy. Could she be the next Bachelorette? And so people jumped to think that Daisy was the next Bachelorette. But the wording of Jesse Palmer was strange because he said, could she be?
Right.
They wouldn't do it like that. They'd be like, and our next Bachelorette, Daisy.
Totally.
It didn't happen like that. They had a conversation where Daisy said, she's not ready for that. And then a shock went over the world when they brought out Jen. And now I don't want to take anything away from Jen because I think Jen is a great girl and I want her to have a great season. But I think two things can be true at once. Yeah. You can want the best for Jen and end up being excited for her.
And we will support her in her season.
And support her, but also be upset that the person you wanted to be Bachelorette is not the Bachelorette. Right. And I think a lot of people wanted Maria. I think a lot of people wanted either Daisy or Kelce, depending on who did not end up with Joey. So I think that's why it was so shocking. I think people even threw Lexi around.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jen's conversation was really in the mix much.
Kelsey T was in the crowd. I thought maybe it was going to be Kelsey T.
Yeah. She was wearing a stunning orange dress.
Stunning. She's gorgeous.
So I think Jen just wasn't in the conversation.
They all are gorgeous.
They're stunning. Yeah. I think Jen wasn't in the conversation, and that's why it was so shocking.
Yeah.
But I have seen people say, like, remember when Hannah Brown was announced? And everyone was like, come on, Hannah Brown. She was sent home before hometowns. Who cares?
Yep.
And that turned out to be a fucking hell of a season. Like, Hannah Brown's season, one of the best. So I think everybody has to give Jen a shot.
Totally.
But at the same time, we can be upset that Maria is not the Bachelorette because I think Maria would have been a very entertaining Bachelorette. Do I think Maria's season would end up being like the greatest love story of our time? I'm not sure, but I think it would be very entertaining.
Absolutely, and I think that they, if anything, because of this result, I would imagine people kind of have to use some common sense and think like, oh, they didn't want to do it or things didn't work out. You know, like, I don't think it's crazy to say that their first choice was not Jen. It's that's obvious.
I think for sure. Yeah.
They wouldn't have brought Daisy back out because that was to try and soften the blow a little bit, even though it ended up being a fake out. But I think their thinking there was, let's bring Daisy out we will hear it from Daisy's mouth herself that she is not ready and does not want to be the Bachelorette. Because if they didn't do that and they just said, here comes Jen, she's the next Bachelorette, everyone would be like, oh my God, what? Like, why isn't it Daisy? Why isn't it Maria? And, you know, I'm sure like they weren't going to bring out every girl to be like, oh, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it?
Could it be Maria?
Right. And then have Maria be like, no, it's also not me. And then bring Jen.
Yeah.
So, but I think they did want to clarify with Daisy, like, it's not going to be her, and hear it from Daisy's mouth. And, you know, the audience is not crazy. Something must have happened with Maria. There's no way that it didn't. There's no way they didn't have that conversation. Every year they talk to multiple people about being the Bachelor, the Bachelorette. So I'm sure she was an option. It seems like it didn't work out. I know there was a screenshot floating around of Lauren responding to somebody saying that Maria turned it down. And, you know, Lauren was there last night with Maria. They're very close friends. And, you know, that's also super possible. Like, it's just, the Bachelorette's a big job. I think Maria had such an amazing season. And we've been talking about her kind of like in a Tyler Cameron type of way, where Tyler Cameron had such a great season. Everybody loved him. And then he never went back to the show. Like, he was like, I'm going out on top. I'm never going back. I have not gone back to no Paradise, no Bachelor, no nothing. He's never gone back. And he's done extremely well.
Right.
So it's like Maria could potentially follow that formula of like, she has the following, people fucking love her, and she could just take that into whatever next, you know, avenue she wants to go down. And that would be fine for her.
And people still love Tyler because they never got to see, and I'm not saying Tyler, no, that, you know what I mean by that.
They never got to know the real him.
No, that's not what I mean. It's like, they can't find something to rip him apart about.
Yeah.
Once you become the lead, it's very easy.
Yeah, there's
for
just
them
way more attention on you.
Yeah, for you become overexposed, and then people turn their backs on you. It's the tale as old as time. So I feel like this is great for Maria because people are now pissed she's not the Bachelorette. So they're going to be like, we wanted Maria as the Bachelorette. That's all they're going to do. They're going to say, we loved her on the season. We want her as the Bachelorette. And now she can thrive doing whatever else she can do that's not on The Bachelor. So I think it's actually going to be a great thing for Maria. And I think that's why it ended up with Jen. And I think Jen probably knows that.
And by the way, Maria, what a doll. She immediately did hug us, said, oh my God, I love you guys. Love you girls.
Yeah, and I was like, we love you too. I was like, Maria. We were like queen. We took pictures with her, and that was fun. We didn't get to hang out with her for too long. I wanted to, but I think people just need to, you know, calm down a little bit with the hate towards Jen because you haven't seen her season yet.
Right.
We know,
and that's not fair. Like, why point the hate at Jen? Like, she just got offered an amazing opportunity and she's going to take it.
She's going to take it. It's not her.
Yeah.
It's not up to her that they picked her.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happened. So,
And first Asian American Bachelorette or Bachelor, which is great. Like, they've had done how many seasons now. It's crazy that hasn't happened.
It's about time.
That's wonderful. And I know, like she said, she was able to speak about it, that she is so excited to see that, hopes that there's people that see that representation that she never saw when she would, you know, turn on the TV. So I think she's going to be great. She's so sweet, and everyone really kept telling us, like, wait until you see like more of Jen, because really she did not get that much airtime on this season. We know she and Joey had a connection. She made it to the top 5, obviously, so there was a connection there. But I feel like the edit was so Maria heavy, so like it was so like there were so contestants that were shown so much more that, you know, we'll now get to see Jen and give her a fair shot and actually get to see her personality. And everyone's saying, you know, she's funny, she's witty, she'll be great. So I'm excited, and congratulations to Jen.
Congrats to Jen, but I am upset that it's not Maria.
Yes, I
am very upset that it's not Maria or Daisy.
Maria would have given it crazy season, but it's like it also could have been extremely unpredictable, you know,
which is great TV.
It's great TV, absolutely, for us as a viewer. On the other side, like, I'm sure that makes people nervous, you know?
Yeah, but like at that,
you would think it makes the producers excited,
right? You're like, like, I don't even want to think about it from a producer perspective. I want to think about it as if I'm a viewer at home that has no idea anything about production in terms of, because we wouldn't really know if we were just at home viewers. So I want to think about it in that perspective. And it's like, from that perspective, I want Maria.
Yeah.
Or I want Daisy, because I thought that she had such like a great story leading into it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're not going to support Jen and look forward to, like, you know, like you said, so many people were like, she's really funny, give it a shot. And I do think, you know, the jokes that she was making on stage, if somebody else made the same jokes, they would be applauded and be like, they're so funny. But because nobody really knows Jen that well, it's an eye roll.
I think everybody was also just in the moment really disappointed, so they were going to pick apart whatever she said.
Exactly.
You know? They're like, what, she could be saying nothing. It's not Maria, so it's
right. We're pissed. Yeah. So I think two things could be true. Like I said, you could be disappointed that it's not the Bachelorette you wanted, because I think a lot of people are. But also give a fair shot.
Yep.
Let's not tear it down. That's not nice.
And they're jumping right into it. Bachelor released the contestants, pictures of contestants last night for Bachelorette, so the wheel keeps turning.
It does. They're right back into it.
Keeps turning. Yep.
But yeah, that wraps up. I don't think we're missing anything. It was
a great
really
night.
cool to be shown on TV.
Yeah.
I do want to say that Trent, of course, we invited him, but he had other obligations with the golf podcast.
Yeah.
So he would have been there, because
I know, and everybody was
missing
missing him. People were asking.
Yeah.
People were asking for him.
People were,
which was funny, and we'll hopefully we can all get together and we'll talk to Joey and Kelsey more about it, because like they said on stage, they're planning a New York move, which is very exciting for us.
Right.
Like, I'm like, hell yeah, they're I love more people coming in.
Maybe we can hang out,
so we can all hang.
We did go to the bar afterwards with Joey and Kelsey and their families and their
that was funny.
Very sweet. Joey
friends.
Joey did go out of his way to make sure that he included, like, he came over and invited us and told us where we were going, which was very nice. They had more press to do.
Yeah.
So we weren't just gonna like stand around in the studio. We're like, oh, we'll go. And we got there and waited a little bit for all of them to get there, but for a little while, it was just like us and Joey's family, which was kind of funny.
Yeah,
how it should be.
It was literally the three of us and Joey's entire family.
Right. And I felt bad.
So, big night for us, huh?
Yeah.
And they're very sweet. So it was
so
very
sweet.
nice. Like, and I was like, is it okay that we're here?
Well, I felt bad intruding. I said that to you guys. I was like, guys, we're like, we can't go to this. Like, it's his, and you guys were like, his sister came over.
Yeah.
And Joey came over to invite us. And I still just
there's like no reason they did not need to invite us.
No,
they
didn't need to tell. But I just felt a little weird at first. I was like, it's their families, the biggest night of like, they don't really want us there.
Yeah.
But they did invite us. So
and it ended up being everyone. Like
it was. I'm
going to
really
take
cool.
the invite as a genuine invite, and I'm sure he would say that as well.
Right.
And yeah, there was like a bunch of other contestants there and people, so it was like
that was funny,
turned
though,
into a hang.
At some point, all the TVs turned on to The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh!" I was like, "There I am."
Yeah. Wait. Hilarious moment was when we were talking with Joey and the TV's on and Noah like budges Joey and goes, "Look, it's me!" And it's just Joey. It's just Joey and like a blurred
Noah in the background.
That got Joey pretty hard. He laughed pretty hard at that. I laughed pretty hard. I was like, that was funny. But yeah, it was a great night overall, and hopefully we provided everybody with the behind the scenes content they wanted to see.
Yep.
I hope we didn't let anybody down with that. And
the reactions, I know people said they told us good job.
Yeah, we were
trying our best.
We were reacting.
And shout out our guy Mills, of course.
Shout out Robert Mills, just
gem of a man,
best of the best.
Yep,
wouldn't be here without you.
Yep, and honestly, all of the ABC team. The ABC team, Warner Brothers, like everybody there treated us so well. It was so nice. It was like I was nervous about going, just from this, like our first time going. I don't know. I didn't want to break any rules.
Yeah.
Like at first I was so scared. I felt like there were so many rules, and then we got there, they were like, "You two, no rules."
Right.
We were like, "Oh hell yeah!"
By the way, we cut a full conversation from Monday's podcast about talking about filming at The Bachelor, and I was like, guys, we don't need to follow the rules. Like, ask for forgiveness, not for permission. And then Fran was like, no, we need to follow the rules. And I mean, that just is literally the prime example of our personalities right there. And it turned, I understood where you're coming from completely. That
was like best case scenario though, you know, like expect to have like, there were guidelines that we expected to be there, and then they just weren't, which was like, this is amazing.
Right. It was a blessing, truly.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So yeah, now we get to talk with Joey and Kelsey.
Let's do it. All right, let's get into our interview with Joey and Kelce while we're out here in LA. But guys, always remember, make sure you're cracking open your Coors Light. From day-to-day annoyances to the big stuff life throws your way, it's easy to get worked up. But there's a better way, a chiller way. Turn that canceled concert into a parking lot dance party. Too cold for an ocean swim? Play volleyball and light a bonfire instead. And that's choosing chill. And when you choose chill, reach for a Coors Light. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. You guys know we love a nice ice cold Coors Light. It was great, actually, leaving the Bachelor finale, heading to a bar, waiting for everybody to come hang, having a nice cold beer at the bar, nice cold Coors Light. So when you choose to rise above it all, choose chill, choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/chicks. And always celebrate responsibly from Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
All right, everyone, we are here with two very, very special guests. We are super excited. We're here with Kelce and Joey. They're engaged, happy couple, sitting right with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. We're excited.
We're super excited.
So excited. I mean, granted, we saw you guys last night, and we got to kind of chat a little. You're very nice. We went out to the bar. There was about 20 minutes of just the three of us and your entire family, Joey, which was great. They were like, no, we swear they told us to come.
Yeah.
Well, you came over and your sister came over and, invited us to the bar, and we were leaving, and I was like, guys, they don't actually want us to go. We have to go home. And they were like, no, they invited us. And I was being like, no, we're intruding. We can't go. I'm really glad we did go. But
Yeah.
I thought you were just being, you were being nice. And I was like, we can't intrude on this. But I'm really happy we came because your families are great. Your friends. It was great to see everybody celebrating you guys.
No,
It
we're
was
glad you
fun.
came too.
Yeah, it was the end of the full experience of you guys being at your first AFR. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're throwing a lot of superlatives around right now of best Bachelor, best season. I don't know.
All
I
this
kind of think that I would say it has been. And what's the feedback been for you guys? I'm sure everyone's so happy for you both.
Yeah, I mean, I think that everyone's been so positive. I was a little worried about the ending, how people would take it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that it was shown perfectly, and everyone's been so kind. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Yeah, I think we've both been really lucky that we didn't have a lot of hate throughout this season. I know that can happen a lot of times for the lead. Also, she's in a tough spot being a contestant on it, but we're really happy with how everything ended. And I don't know, it's nice to hear people say that. We know a lot of people have been invested in this season. I know that a lot of people have been starting to come back to the show. So we're just happy because this is what it's all about, is now that we have this.
Right, exactly. Yeah, everyone has been saying you hit all your marks, greatest Bachelor ever. But you and Daisy
Saying us.
It's us and everybody else. But you and Daisy had such a mature ending as well, which I think was really important for people to watch, especially with this franchise. Not to say that there's been any crazy, endings where the girls hate each other or whatever, but we've never, when they said we were going to see something that we've never seen before, we did see that. Now, granted, it wasn't the most dramatic thing in the entire world, but it was still cool to see what had happened there. Although it feels like some things were cut out a little bit. How did you guys decide that you two were going to ride in the van over together?
I honestly can't remember who for sure initiated that conversation of let's go into the car, let's ride together. But I think it might have been me. I'm not 100% sure. But it was a group decision. We were let's go in the car together because we were both so emotional, and so it was nice to just have each other for support.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Did you feel at all, because this is maybe the only criticism that I have seen, is that maybe that took away a little bit from your moment of going into the proposal? Did you feel that at all, or were you just I'm okay with this?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that, I don't think that anything could have, made our moment smaller or anything like that. I think that it was so spectacular and so big. And still at the end of the day, I was a little surprised. I think that it was obvious for Daisy, but at the same time, it's I don't know if he's going to propose to me until he gets down and proposes to me.
Right.
So I don't think that it fully took the element of surprise out, but it was, I don't know, it was comforting to know that she knew,
Yeah, it was really interesting to see that unfold. And I like they said, we've never seen something like that before. You know, sometimes people will leave before they even step up to the initial proposal. Joey, in that moment, like, you were emotional, and that's because you knew. In those dates with Daisy, were the things you were saying because you knew you weren't going to pick her, which is I think totally okay. We talked about it, that like you were saying things that were like, you know, even if we're not together, and
ominous,
and not really leading her on to the point of being like, don't worry, it's you.
Right. I think she did a really good job explaining it last night too, and even through her ITMs and those moments she has on the show where she's talking about it. Like, I tried to be very smart with my words. I didn't want to lead anyone on. I felt it was really important just to be honest about how I was feeling. And I didn't even realize until watching it back how much I'm like, yeah, it was very obvious. We did talk so much about our future, really from overnights and on. We were talking about planning and this and that. And I think because I was doing it with her, I was like, this is so wrong if I'm going to do this with someone else. And I didn't realize from that situation that would also affect what her feelings were too. And we both said it, like, it's the ending that should have been. I think Daisy's amazing. She thinks Daisy's amazing. It's just one of those things that it's how it went. And I tried my best through this because it is a tough situation that last week.
Extremely tough, and you handled it so well, very respectful on all parts like we talked about. Now, did you guys see, you know, there's spoiler people in the universe of the Bachelor world. The initial spoiler was that you had picked Daisy.
Yes, it was.
Were Kelsey, I want to know your reaction. Were you kind of like pissed, or were you like, just wait and see?
Okay, so initially I was like, heck yeah, this is awesome.
This is
I was like, hell yeah. I was like, no one knows. This is so sick. And then the weeks went on and people were like, it's Daisy, you know, all this stuff. And I was like, I was like, that hurts a little, you know, it's me. But yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. And I think that I just had to like swipe past like all that social media stuff that was about that. But I mean, it's all out. And I think that people are really happy with the way it ended. And I mean, I am.
I mean, your love really shines through. Like, I was so giddy. I mean, both of us were so giddy watching you guys. Like, you can feel that true love, that real connection, the chemistry. I've talked about it before. I think people make connections on this show all the time. But I think it can be rare that it feels so palpable through the screen. And with you guys, like, I just felt that way. Like, we were just so giddy to see.
I just think you guys are both extremely genuine. So when it came down to like those last few weeks as viewers, and we talked about it a lot on Cutting Stems, we were like, Daisy's great, but we can tell like it's not fully there. Like we were like, this is, and it was like, we were like not trying to be rude, like mean to Daisy or like knock Daisy. We're like, Daisy's great, she's wonderful, but like if we're watching this and we can tell that like this connection that you guys have is so strong. Joey, when do you think, like, was there a moment that it 100% cemented it's Kelsey?
I think everyone felt it from watching the show last night too. The 100% cement was after families, because when we had moments in Rhonda, in Jasper, her hometown went so well. Fancy Suites were amazing. Like, everything was lining up, and I was like, okay, last step. Like, let's see how it is with the family. I have to stay open, but also people saw with the note too. Like, I was crushed if she was leaving. There's so many moments that went through. Like, I can't imagine a life without her. So that's what people felt when they saw the note. So there's so many moments leading up, but that family moment when I was like, they loved her. She was amazing. She was so excited to meet them. I felt like she was ready. So that was when I think people saw me even being more careful about my words and how Daisy started to find out. So yeah, that was really the cementing moment, was when she met my family.
Kelsey, how did you feel after meeting Joey's family?
Well, I was so nervous, and I feel like I was just so excited, and that's how all my nerves were coming out. Is I was just like spewing the first thing that was on my mind, and that's just how I am. Honestly, that's how I talk.
How you should be.
I don't really think a whole lot before I say things. Like, I made up a word last night. Apparently, I don't know if y'all saw it. Intentful, but
beautiful word.
It's new. It's gonna be added soon to the dictionary. But I was nervous. With his family, but also I feel like I showed who I was, and I showed them how much I loved Joey, and I told them that. So I do think that they really felt that.
Even that moment when they had like the little thing, like, do you think she's actually ready, because of how she responded? My sisters knew it too. They were like, this girl's communication style is just different. Like she says the first thing comes to her mind. She's such a light. She's just, that's how she's going to talk through this. But we did feel like she was ready. So we had no doubts leaving that day.
Yeah, they like to cut some of those parts out.
I want to know, when you guys were on the show and you'd go back to your rooms late at night, like, Joey, were you just like dying to talk to Kelce at points? Or Kelce, were you like, how can I get more time with him? Like, how do you kind of register these feelings? Like, are you journaling? I want to know the process, because there's no phones, there's no outside, there's TV, no music, nothing.
Yeah, I'm a big journaler.
Yeah.
I journaled so much throughout this whole process, and I think that really helped me. And I would recommend that to anybody that's going on the show.
100%.
Get a big fat blank journal and write every day. And it's also really sweet to look back and see like my moods throughout the whole show and like where I was at. But yeah, journaling helped me so much. And yeah, I mean, I always wanted to spend time with him, but sometimes it was nice to sit back and just like think about
Process.
how I was actually feeling. I told his dad during his hometown visit, and he asked me, is it Joey or is it like the idea of Joey? And I was like, I purposefully took my time telling Joey that I loved him because I wanted to make sure that I meant it fully. So whenever I blurted it out to my dad, like I wanted to take that second to make sure like I actually felt that. And it wasn't just Joey the Bachelor, it is Joey.
Yeah.
who I
Right,
love.
of
And it
course.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, we had little ways to kind of also have those moments too. I'll say one little story. She when we were in Malta said that there was a song when she was on the plane that always made her think of me, and it was "Dress" by Taylor Swift. So then I listened to that song. So whenever I had like a moment of I miss Kelce, so I would just like get one of the producers like play "Dress" right now. So that would be like something I would do. Just to
That's
be
so
able to-
sweet. No, like, why am I tearing up? I'm sitting with
No,
you.
that-
like that's the kind of right. Like
Yeah.
you get little moments like that.
my ankles just started going. Lost control.
There was a lyric in that song, and it was talking about like there could be a crowded room and it just feels like you two, and that's why it really made me
Yeah.
think of him. And I was like on the airplane going to Malta, listening. We didn't have phones, so I was listening to whatever was on the plane, and so
Right.
I was just listening to that song over and over again. I was like
She's like, it hit. So then that was just little moments like that make a
Yeah.
huge difference. So yeah.
And
whenever
then
you can get 'em.
the note did lead to more time.
Yes.
And of course everyone really was like, "Oh my God, why? We need to talk." That never means anything good. Like, how did you feel writing the note? And when you saw Joey's reaction, what did you think?
Yeah. I did not expect his reaction, if I'm being honest. I felt terrible whenever I saw him open the door. My heart like completely sank, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want him to feel, like I was playing games or anything like that. Yeah, definitely could have worded it differently.
It was again. It ended up being great for us because it reconfirmed like, okay, I can actually. Because for me, I always said love is also the idea of not picturing. You can't picture a life without them, and that was a big moment for me where I was always worried if someone was leaving, if someone was knocking on the door. Like I never wanted to be her. So when I saw a note that said, "Can we talk?" It's like, is this like this is my fear. So.
Right.
But it was good for us, and we did have time to talk through some other things that day that people didn't see. So it was a nice moment at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I sorry, we just took a deep
we
breath
did
at the same
It
time.
I like that.
That was
It was
in-
like
yeah,
it was
we're
it
in-
was an
that was
insane thing.
completely in unison. Yep.
I think a common theme throughout the season was you being fearful that nobody was going to be there at the end, and we talked about it, and it was like, I really hope Joey doesn't just pick somebody who is there.
Yeah.
Pick who you truly feel that love with, and and it's just so great to see that it's you. I mean, your personality like really shined through the entire season. I think people really saw like your goofy side, funny. I think what Joey's family said about you is so true. Like you do have this light about you, and it was just great to see because I love watching the show and really feeling like we get to know people. I think oftentimes we go, man, we didn't like get to know that person or whatever. So it was great to see, like getting to know you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Not to get too deep, Joey,
Do
'cause
it.
I'm going to mention what Rhea just said, but you said it a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like my biggest fear is that they're going to leave and I'm going to be alone at the end of this. Where did that fear really stem from, you think?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'll be completely honest. It was past relationships. I think everyone has that. I definitely try to tread carefully in discussing those relationships because that is something I want to respect. And also, I have nothing but love and respect for those women because they shape me into who I am in a lot of ways too. Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. We did talk about it on the show too, even though not everyone saw it. I had to work on myself. Like I had a relationship that I thought was the one. It didn't work out. And then when that happens, you question, what did I do? Like, what was it about me? And I had to learn about love languages. I had to do better at communicating. I had to understand what someone else needed. And that takes time. And I took that kind of baggage into my next relationship. And that one I ended, but it didn't work out because I know I wasn't doing a good job. And question for the first time, like, am I even like a good guy? Am I going to make someone happy someday? Like I always envisioned to be the best husband possible, to be the best father. Like I want that. But then I was like, well, now I need to find someone. And am I the problem, I guess? So
Right.
I think a lot of that came through during the show because you're put in those situations. You're asked to like give so much emotion to these women and you get spread
Yeah.
thin. And then I
Yeah.
just like, I tried as much as I could to like put those emotions into the camera, and maybe I didn't do the best explaining it sometimes, but it was real. Like I did
Because
have that
it just
doubt.
feels like there's when there is a common theme, I do think sometimes the show like really holds on to
Yeah.
like the one thing.
Totally.
So it does feel like it was repeated a lot of times without
Yeah.
getting to kind of dive too deep into it. But like you said, and because you've been on the other side, you made it that far on The Bachelorette. So I feel like you have an understanding of how, the lead does pick somebody, but they have to want to be picked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to feel it back. So Kelsey, I want to ask you because, you kind of said like, hey, went into the show, excited to meet him. See, wasn't necessarily like, I will be, like, I
Yeah.
need to be
Yeah.
engaged
Yeah.
at the end of this. So you do kind of have to choose Joey. What made you fall in love with Joey? Because it's always like, a lot of focus on him picking
Right.
what girl he likes, the
Yeah.
most. But what did you like about Joey the most?
I don't know. He was always so reassuring and intentional with his words. I think that it was so effortless with us. Like at the beginning, the very first time we talked, I was very nervous. But then after that, we just eased into each other. The paintball date, it was so fun. That's actually where we had our first kiss. And yeah, it was really, really special.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even, you talking about what you just said here about your past relationships, sometimes with the lead, we don't necessarily get to learn so much about them. We love learning about all the contestants, but you were listening to everybody's stories and you're taking that all in, and that could be a lot. And more than ever, I think on this season, I think it was because you responded so well to what people were telling you. And I think that's why we picked up on it more. But I think it's great to learn about you and the experiences you have had as well, because of course you're going to be a little nervous about, if you've had past trauma with relationships, you're going to be like, I'm a little nervous that this
Yeah,
person's
of
not going to be
course.
in the end. But all those things happen for a reason, because look at you guys now.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have changed a single thing. I tried my best to be honest, and people can't see everything like we did. She understood where that insecurity came from. We talked about that a ton. It's just, as you said, they're going to highlight the women because there are so many stories to get through.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people just expect that they know The Bachelor, or
Right.
again, I always felt like I didn't want to act like I was like, I'm the Bachelor, I'm in this role.
Yeah.
Like you can't be that person. You got to try to understand that this is difficult, and I'm not going to act like I have it figured out because no one does in this position.
Of course.
right.
And I think that landed you in a great spot.
Yeah.
How has it been since you guys have been together in hiding? Now you no longer have to hide, which is a beautiful thing. But how often did you guys like get to see each other? What was the communication like?
We saw each other about every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we would sneak away to a house and get to hang out in seclusion.
Yeah.
So we played a lot of puzzles, watched a lot of TV shows,
Yep.
took a lot of naps,
Yeah.
You said
Chill.
last night ordered Chipotle.
Yeah, ordered
lots of
Chipotle. Yeah.
orders.
But no, it
That's
was
bad.
great. It's really nice to just finally be able to be out and do normal things. Like we're so excited to go to dinner tonight.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
God,
It's so
right?
silly.
I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah.
How did you feel after the show last night at the bar with your friends and family?
It was so great. I think, I always said too, in relationships, I always wanted to be in a position where we could be doing our own thing, but then we come together, it's just that much better. And that was the first time we actually got a chance to do that, where like I was talking to you guys, I was talking to my family, I was talking to my boys that were there, and I look over and I just see her having the time of her life, and then I just come over, give her a kiss and say hello, and then like we get that moment to then have it together. And it's so simple, but it's what I picture as a healthy and loving relationship, and now we finally get to do that.
Right. It was so
How-
sweet.
How nervous do you guys get in the in-between period of like potentially spoiling something or saying the wrong,
I mean, we
posting the
almost
wrong
messed up,
thing,
so
or
we
like
can
doing
talk
the wrong,
about that.
right? Because it's like you're back, you have your phones. I felt like, especially this season too, the girls were really active on social media more than it feels like past seasons. So how do you both navigate that without saying too much or posting the wrong thing?
We did mess up a little bit. We found out pretty quickly how much these the I think they're called sleuthers. She said they should work for the FBI.
They're on it.
We did one during one of our last Happy Couple houses. We had like a blank background, and I thought we were smart. And she took a video of me for TikTok, and then she had a really sweet video about her mom, and went outside, and we had no idea they were gonna put together
a fence and like a sliver of a cabinet.
It was crazy. I know. We'll show you pictures of it later, but like it was so far-fetched that it wasn't like everyone's like, I think this is it, but it still made us realize like, wow, like we have to be careful. We always go back. It's because people care, they were invested, but we don't want to ruin it. Like we want people to enjoy it.
I felt terrible. I like couldn't sleep that night. I felt so bad. I felt like I let a lot of people down, but it was not intentional. So
and people know that, and the people that they know that on that side too. Everyone sees, but it's tough, and they were just so excited because the spoiler was wrong. As much as it wasn't the greatest thing for us,
people love specifically like to prove some spoilers wrong.
Totally. Of course.
Rum Haven is made with real coconut water and no artificial flavors or preservatives for clean and refreshing taste, not a fake one. You can't beat the taste of real coconut water. It's delicious, clean, refreshing. Rum Haven believes that Mother Nature does it best. That's why Rum Haven is crafted with premium Caribbean rum and real coconut water. Enjoy Rum Haven straight over ice with a splash of club soda or your favorite juice. For us, as we start to get into those warmer months, a nice rum cocktail while you're sitting out in the sun, God, nothing is better. And Rum Haven is delicious. My personal preference is to make a little cocktail with orange juice, cranberry juice, the Rum Haven, mix it all up. Absolutely delicious. A little rum punch action. So you can find out where to pick up a bottle of Rum Haven for yourself by visiting rumhaven.com. So once again, pick up a bottle of Rum Haven for yourself by visiting rumhaven.com.
Kelsey, you posted a hilarious TikTok about Joey's eyes.
Oh my God.
And I think that got people talking as well, because they were like, this is a girl who's joking around about her fiance.
Right.
But that was hilarious. And then Joey, you had to address the situation with your eyes, because people were like really like diagnosing you.
Which
is scary. I hate when people do that.
I get it though. I mean, they look messed up sometimes. Like I understand.
I didn't really notice until people started pointing it out.
No, it's something I tried my best to explain on TikTok. I felt like it was the right way to do it, to give them some context. But she was the one that actually pushed it a ton. She's like, just tell people. I'm sick of seeing these comments.
Because it would annoy me. I was like, y'all don't know what's wrong with him. Like he is fine.
Are you
taken care of?
Are you noticing you're getting like really protective over each other and what people say?
Yeah, it's funny because like we always reassure each other, but like if I get a mean comment, she's the one in my comment section like, I'm reporting this person. This is ridiculous.
They think they are
right. Of course.
She's been great. She hasn't gotten a lot of stuff, but whenever there is a small thing, like I'm looking at the account, I'm like, let me see who's saying it.
No, of course. You're like, oh,
like you need to block that girl.
Then you look, you're like, does that person follow me? Because I'm gonna block them from seeing
right, exactly.
I hate when you go through it too, and like you do see one comment, and then you see they don't even like follow you. I was like, you went out of your way. What are you doing here?
How did you end up here? And also the people
get out of here.
Like the comment, you guys ever do you ever fall into that where you're like,
no, I haven't. That would be funny if we saw a friend in there.
Sometimes I'm just like, my God, how did it get so many likes?
Like I'll see.
Why are you liking this?
Does this mean it's true?
Did you guys have any like secret code names, like texting? I'm trying to think, like, God forbid somebody picks up your phone and they're like, oh, did you have to save each other's contacts as different names?
Yeah, we should explain yours. Yours is funny.
So mine is Fane C.
That's the face you should have.
What? It was just fiance spelled weird.
She was like, put it in. I was like, Fane's not a real name. People are gonna know that's not it. I think I might still be Fane C right now. I don't even know if he changed it yet.
I think it's hilarious. He was like, that is not a name.
Like
FAINC. C.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
No one caught on.
Yeah.
Hey,
She
I mean,
told me.
you met a European guy.
Yes,
Fane.
Fane.
like
Or really mysterious.
Yeah.
He's Australian.
yeah.
She told me early on, I think it was night one, that her family always gave her the nickname Bird, like Kelsey Bird. So I did a little chick emoji. So and
That's cute.
It's actually Kelsey with the little chick emoji.
Yeah. That's really cute. Because also, I want to say, like, if you picked a random guy's name, Joe, you would be like,
I'd be like, who the hell is Ben?
Right.
Yeah.
Why are you picking that name?
What is going
Yeah,
on?
it's better to go with a fake
But
Fane.
a very, very fake name.
I was trying to be clever, but it was actually
She laughed so much when she did it too. I was like, this is gonna stick. Like I thought it was a joke,
Yeah.
and then it actually stuck. So.
Yeah, I love it. How do you guys
cute.
feel about doing, like interviews like this or press in general? Like,
We
what's it
actually
been
just
like for
talked
you?
about this.
Yeah,
You should say.
I think that podcasts are so fun.
Yeah.
It's so much more like relaxed and it's just like you're, chit chatting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm getting more familiar with the interviews. I guess like they're getting easier for me. But yeah, I think that they're fun.
She's been doing great. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's a little different, and I knew it was gonna be something that maybe could scare a little bit, but she's been doing awesome, and I think it's so much nicer to do this together now and feed off each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always, as somebody that hosts a show with another person, it's having another
Good
person
to have
is
somebody to
very good.
bounce off of.
It certainly is.
Joey, you were doing a lot of interviews during the season,
Mm-hmm.
which can be hard because, like we said, you're not trying to spoil it. Did you realize how you maybe messed up a little bit when you were talking about people in past tense? Did you catch on to that?
I don't even know. I probably messed up. Well, explain what I did.
I think I saw it on E! News that
like
you
I
were
don't even know
talking
what this
about Maria, and you were like, she was blah,
Oh,
blah,
yeah,
blah.
I
And it
probably
was
did that.
before she had was sent home.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh my God, so it's not.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
Yeah.
Does he not realize that he didn't say it like in present tense?
Hey,
did you not realize?
I tried my best.
You had
okay?
you had your mind on someone else.
Yeah. That was honestly the hardest part of it all. It's
Right.
like I'm like, I don't want to talk about anyone else. I'm
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I could totally see that. I mean, even coming in here and talking with us and bringing up Daisy in the beginning, like it feels weird because I'm like, you guys are happily engaged and we're
Yeah.
bringing up somebody else, but of course it's the show, so we have to touch
It's
on
all
it.
understandable.
And it's understandable, but I understand in you guys where you're like, when this settles and you guys can just like focus on each other.
Yeah, but
course.
also like the reality things, like a lot of time has passed, so I
Yeah.
feel like we've had so much time together, and this comes with the show, and
Right.
It comes with how we met. So
Yeah.
And working
I'll
through
take it,
and
yeah.
working through the emotions of it
Yeah.
all, like
For
it
sure.
lessens with the time.
Yeah.
Totally.
Kelsey, how was the house for you? Because I feel like watching this season, there was some petty drama going on between some of the ladies sometimes,
Yeah.
but it felt like you were not in the mix at
Yeah.
all, at least on camera. So how did you kind of get through your time with all the other girls? And when you saw trouble starting to flare up, did you just kind of like take a couple steps back?
yeah, I feel like I definitely took a couple steps back. I don't like being in the mix of drama. I'd rather watch it from afar.
Yeah.
But I always take things with a grain of salt as well. Like if someone comes to me and tells me that somebody did this, I'm like, okay, putting that in the back of my head. But yeah, I just tried to stay away from all that and focus on what I was there for. And I had really great friendships with pretty much every single woman in the house. So that was helpful.
There was a lot of people that pointed out to the fact that all of the ladies in the final four had changed their profile pictures on Instagram to their baby photos.
Yeah.
Was that pre-planned?
Great. This is literally insane. It was not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Swear on everything. It was not. I did not know that they had baby pictures. I put mine up, like, I think right before I went public because I was like, oh, I don't like any of these pictures. Let me just put a baby picture.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's fun. Whatever. And then we realized that we all had it like way later on. But yeah, no, it was really funny. I think Maria and Daisy already had theirs. And I think Rachel and I might have changed ours like right before we went public, but no, like I don't think that was not intentional at all.
That
Yeah.
is crazy.
Isn't that insane? So you guys
That's
only
really
did
weird.
did you discuss it afterwards? Like when you all realized, like,
Yeah,
did you
afterwards,
see
like,
people
what
were
are the
picking up
odds?
on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
So
just like,
people
that is
picked up on
insane.
that early. I was
Oh,
like, wow,
yeah.
that's wild.
I literally, it was not a thought in my mind, but I mean, that's fun. I think that they should do
cool.
little Easter eggs like
Yeah.
that going forward.
I think there's
Right.
maybe enough Easter eggs at this point, right? Everyone's picking up everything. Yeah.
So moving forward, you guys are always asked about what your plans are, and I know you both said New York. So why New York? I mean, we're happy to have you. Please come to New York.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome to New York. And Why New York?
I've always wanted to live in New York. I love the hustle and bustle of things. I've always wanted to live in a big city like that. And New Orleans is fun and it's cute, but it's more quaint. Also, I work in construction project management. There's a lot of stuff like that going on in New York.
Right.
Yeah. And I've just always wanted to. I think I also romanticize it a lot with early 2000 rom-coms and things like that. But I've always just had this feeling that I need to live there, and regardless if I hate it or not, like I need to know.
Yeah.
And so I told Joey about that, and he was in for it.
Yeah, as soon as we started talking about it, I was like, okay, so we're going to New York. Like, there's no if, and, or buts. But I'm excited. I got a chance, obviously, when I came to see you guys and did press there. I really did enjoy it. Like, it's not a place I ever saw myself living because I was living in Hawaii after college. Like, definitely very different vibe.
Very, very.
But you're
it's
kind
gonna
of a
be
little
fun.
city, like Philly city.
Yeah.
Not too far
It's
from
not too far, which is, I think, one of the parts that we're really excited about. Like, train ride away from Carly and Zach and my dad, which is going to be awesome. I still have a bunch of friends in the Philly area, so they can come visit me.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to be close to family, and it's the right place for us right now, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. Are you excited to go to New Orleans for a little bit?
I am. I think it's going to be really fun because it's a part of her, right? And that's what's exciting, is to be able to see what she's like in her environment. I know she's got a bunch of coffee shops and food places she wants to show me. I'm going to be, like, she's still working, so I'm just going to be probably working on my golf game, playing some tennis.
I'll be sugar mama.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to invite Trent down to New Orleans to golf with you.
Loves
because
New Orleans.
he loves New Orleans.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Can we get a little explanation of the voodoo doll? Because I will say, we went to New Orleans last week, and my sister was like, do not go into any of the voodoo shops. And I literally, like, walked on the other side of the street when I saw them.
I went to just the voodoo, like, daiquiri and chicken because I was like, I just wanted something for a prop for a video, and I bought it, and we went to do the show, and I had it in my hand, and Rhea saw the glass and saw that she's like, you went in? I was like, it wasn't a voodoo shop.
I said, after I told you.
I got a daiquiri and they sell chicken there. Like,
no, I'm like, after I told you. My sister scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Okay. But I want to hear from somebody who's from there.
Well, so I actually did a lot of research before I brought the voodoo doll, because I was like, let me not.
No bad energy.
Let me not ruin him, actually. Or me. So I actually was looking it up, and they do a lot of ceremonies for love and respect, and it's not all negative. And Hollywood actually just really put a negative view on voodoo, but it's not as bad. And like, what is it? Like, they just think that you're gonna like hurt the person.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Well,
Put pins in the voodoo doll. It's always like a saying.
Yeah, but no, it's not as negative as it seems. But no, I thought it would be funny and like memorable.
Yeah, it definitely was.
There's no real voodoo in that doll. I mean,
Let's hope.
I don't know.
She
I don't
gave
know
it
what
to
there
me.
is.
Or maybe there was.
Where is the doll?
She gave it to me, so
couple
it
of my
actually
hairs in
it turned out. I need to know that if that's true. She didn't hold on to it, which was the first thing. I was like, okay, like maybe this is a good thing, because if she held on to it after, I would have been a little more worried. But no, she gave it to me on that night, and then I made sure with the producers when we got to Spain, I had it with me every time after that. So after Rhonda, it was by my bedside every single night.
Good. Like, imagine Kelce was like, slept with it under my pillow every single day.
Or else he woke up with like a broken arm.
She has it behind her back on the last day. She walks up.
Like, get down on one knee.
Bend.
That's funny.
That is really funny. Well, we're so excited for you guys to go to, be in New York and start that
We're
chapter.
so excited.
I know these questions are probably annoying, but what is, you think, like a timeline? Do you want a long engagement? How do you feel? Because I know you guys both, we sort of heard a little bit of Joey's timeline from when you had those conversations with Lexi.
Yeah.
But where are you guys both at together?
Yeah, I had that timeline with everyone. I was honest. I think the biggest part of it was, as I said, this is a different type of experience where you meet someone quickly, and a long engagement makes so much sense. And we're still going to figure out how to navigate all that. But the goal is long engagement, not to rush through it, give us more time to plan. And then we'll figure out when that wedding's going to be. But all that timeline stuff I said on the show too, like, it is so subject to change. So if anything changes, it does. But we're just excited to finally be at the point that we are now. And then we are engaged.
The ring is on the finger.
It's beautiful.
Did you drop any hints on what kind of ring you were hoping for?
I did. I said like emerald cut, simple. I didn't want a halo. And it's funny. I showed him the ring that I showed my producer that I was like, okay, this would be the ring if I could pick any ring. It literally looks just
It's
like
like
this.
the exact same thing.
That's amazing.
It's insane. Like with the little, what are these called?
I think half moons.
Yeah.
She had 2 tips that I knew about, and she likes gold, and then she really wanted to have an emerald cut because she likes the like more feminine, longer cut.
Yeah.
Because she said like I have longer fingers, I want it to look good on. So I was like, okay, good. But then when the rings came, there was a gold one, but it wasn't an emerald cut. It was kind of circular and it was a little smaller. I was like, I think the emerald cut's more important. But I was a little nervous. I was like, I hope she likes it.
Right.
And you
'Cause
could
let me
change
tell you,
the band.
You can always, and it's like you're never gonna go wrong going diamond band. Just
Diamond's
like
important.
it's like
Yeah.
oh, it's like okay, I'll take the diamond band.
Yeah,
Is maybe the
exactly.
most
That's the
important.
important part.
But it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and I mix metal, so I was like, maybe I'll just do a gold wedding band.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Be
that
fun.
would be really pretty.
Yeah, that would be really pretty too. Because I'm laughing. I'm like, you write their note. We need to talk, and then there's just like a drawing of
Of an
requirements.
I don't think I told you what the ring was.
Just a little drawing. Just
That would have been bold. You should have done that.
Oh my gosh.
You would have been like, what? Who are you?
Yeah. I don't know you.
no, I think it would have been great. Okay, so we'll wrap up, but I want to ask you guys like if there are any favorite moments that you had from your time filming the show that we didn't get to see, that they didn't air.
Yeah, I'll take this one because it was one of my favorite moments. The last chance date that we had, the one right before the proposal and everything, I wanted to do something really special for her so that she had another, I guess, security blanket that it was her. Like I knew at that moment, like I wanna lock this in. So when we were in Malta, the only time I journaled through this entire experience, decided to write the date and write a note of how I was feeling about Kelce at that moment. And it's a long-winded note. We sadly didn't get to see it, but the ending was...
Now, wait a second. Was that the note that you moved? There was like
Yes,
a
that's
note
the
that
note.
you...
You did catch that.
I
Yes.
caught that.
So when Daisy walked
came
in, that
there was a
note-
long fucking note that you went like this. You went, whoop.
Yes, I was like, she doesn't
Caught
need to
that.
see this.
Yes.
She
Yeah,
told
that
me that when
was
we
his
watched
note to me. And at the end of it, it said, in Kelsey, I see a future.
I see a wife.
A wife, yeah.
So I
Sorry,
dated-
that's not something to laugh at. I'm just thinking of Kelsey like shoving it into her pocket, being like, "Oh, Daisy, sorry."
Yeah.
No, but it was really special.
That is so
and
sweet.
I think it's really important for her to know too, as much as this is tough, where I'm like trying to figure all this out. Like I did feel it as long as even in Malta, and that was before we even we didn't even have a one-on-one yet at that moment.
Yeah.
So it just showed that we built something strong, and I did feel like I needed to get those thoughts out. So I read that to her. We always wish that could be on there, but that's still a moment that we share. So that's all that matters.
Oh, that's
special.
really sweet. And you guys both had your Lizzie
You read the
McGuire
whole
moment.
thing out loud.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
that's so
special.
cute.
That is really
They
sweet.
maybe didn't put it in because I was bawling.
Yeah.
Or she's been crying too much.
Right? They were like, we had like how they were probably like, how pro Kelsey can we make
Yeah.
this finale?
Right,
Like,
right.
We have to.
They're
we
probably
have to
like, just
maybe
not
throw-
another
Yeah.
note. Like we can't do another note.
The note.
Not the other
Right.
note.
I gave him a note that said we need to talk. He gave me a love letter. I was like, I feel bad.
Did you find any subscriptions you forgot about or any you paid for twice and didn't realize it? Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. With Rocket Money, you have full control over your subscriptions and a clear view of your expenses. So I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something that I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it with a few taps. The dashboard is so easy. It shows me this month's spending compared to last month, so I can clearly see all spending habits. Plus, they'll help me create a custom budget and keep my spending on track. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is submit a picture of your bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. They'll deal with customer service for you. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. So stop wasting time on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/chicks. That's rocketmoney.com/chicks. rocketmoney.com/chicks. Last night we found out that Jen is the next Bachelorette. What did you guys think about that? And how are you feeling about the new announcement?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for her. I think that everyone's gonna be able to see Jen and how bubbly she is and how much love she has to give.
Yeah, totally. I think people were surprised.
Yeah.
Of course. But we talked about it. We said, like, you gotta support her because I think, we saw a little bit of her personality last night on stage, but we didn't get to see it throughout the entire season. So I think you never know what could happen.
She's great. She's going to do a great job. I just said it earlier today, too. Like, she admitted through Tell All, like, she grew a lot on the show. And I think this is another opportunity for that to happen. And it's a really great experience. I know she's going to do a great job.
Totally. Yeah. Guys, we're so excited.
So excited.
We love
for you guys.
We were so pumped. I don't think I said it, but I mean, on Cutting Stems, we just have been rooting for you guys so hard. I gave my first rose of the season to Kelce.
Yep.
I knew right away. She came out of that limo. I was like, there's something about this girl that I like a lot.
I felt the same way, don't you
And
worry.
it worked really well. And honestly, like, we were onto something this season. And even when I repeated myself, because I brought you up like multiple times, and then at the end I was like, I mean, I'm going to give my rose to Kelce. Sorry, this is boring. I've talked about her like 5 times already.
And I think we were raving about your hair too. I think
a million
mentioned
things.
it when on the Vespa.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
like her hair flowing in the wind, like it's all perfect.
That was a fun day.
It was
we appreciate
amazing.
the support.
Yeah, we're so happy for you guys. We were
So
so
happy.
happy that we could watch it all happen.
Yeah.
To be here.
fun.
And,
It was so cool to
and
experience
we're
it.
also so happy that Rhea follows you on Instagram now.
It was a big day for Joey. I got to
excited.
follow back from Rhea.
We were just talking about that. He was like so excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I've told them from the beginning, like, I was a fan of the show before, and like, you were the only 2 people that when I was at the podcast first, I was like I followed you guys before I was even on The Bachelor. Like, I was a real fan. This was fun, and I was like, I gotta get the follow back from Rhea after I'm on the show, right? Like, I went on Chicks in the Office, like, we met each other, and then I finally got.
She's tagging you in
night.
stories and still not following you.
But I love what she said. She said that she wanted to make sure she followed Kelce first because she's more important. I got the second follow.
Well, yeah, because Joey
I love
said
it.
last night at the bar, he said, I don't get it. Why won't you follow me back on Instagram? And I said, I gotta be honest. I wanted to wait until the end. I also didn't know, like, I knew you followed Chicks in the Office. I didn't know you followed us personally, so it wasn't like an evil, like, I'm purposely.
She knew. We even had a DM. I DM'd both you individually to your personal account and said, "Thank you so much for having the show." She had to go to General to find that. You knew.
I'll be honest. Like, I don't look at the contestants' Instagrams during the season a ton because I feel like you guys are just posting like curated content from the show. So I usually wait until after. But it was funny. I did say to you, I was like, I wanted to make sure you were an engaged man at the end with a lovely lady, and I followed Kelce.
She's
And
like,
I followed you.
I was like, I want to make sure that that he made the right decision, and then he deserves the follow.
So, yeah, imagine I'm
Earned
stuck.
it.
Imagine
Earned
I'm
it.
stuck following Joey, and I'm like, oh, I gotta follow his journey now that I don't want to follow.
You're like, he's like, I don't like his fiance.
So what
kidding,
you're saying is you followed me to get more Kelce content when she's on my
no,
page.
literally, that is why.
I can accept that. I would follow for that
That's
too.
the exact same
I'm
badge
like,
of
I
honor.
want to follow you guys as a couple.
No, we
No,
appreciate
but it was
it.
so funny, and I'm kidding around, and we love you guys, and we're so happy that you guys came here today.
Thank
No,
you. Y'all are
thanks
the
for
best.
Congrats,
having
guys.
us.
We'll
Yes,
see you in New York.
congratulations.
Thank you. See you in New
Thank
York.
you.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We love you guys. By the way, LA people, if you're listening to this, we still have some tickets on sale. So if you want to come to the show Thursday night, we're going to be there. The Taylor Lautners are going to be there. It's going to be a great night. So look forward to that. If you're coming to the show, bring your signs.
So excited
We
for
love
the
you
Taylors.
guys. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. Love you guys so much. And thanks. Have a great week. We'll talk to you on Friday.